I don't ever want to hear that Trump isn't racist, because what's happening right now is 1000% about color. He's targeting innocent Latinos and deporting them, tearing families apart, even deporting Americans. He's deported American children with cancer without their medical supplies. On top of that, he's deporting people that are actually in the legal process of becoming Americans. Meanwhile, on Monday, he is welcoming white, keyword white, South Africans into America. He's providing them housing, prepaid phones, weather appropriate clothing, groceries, house furnishings, all while also saying that Latinos are draining the economy. Are you, like, be so fucking for real. Be so fucking for real, because these are the same Latinos that work multiple jobs. When have you seen a Latino immigrant begging on the street? Oh, wait. Latino immigrants work multiple jobs, don't even qualify for the benefits that he falsely claims that they are abusing. Babe, they can't even get these benefits. They will sell you flowers, wash your car, wash your house, wash the dishes. They do everything. They don't qualify for these benefits. You think if they qualified for these benefits that they would have all these multiple jobs, babe?
Family Latinos are so mad by Trump's decision to take in white South Africans to be, refugees in America. Remember, these white South Africans are not getting injured in their country. They are not getting discriminated against in their country, in South Africa. These white people are not facing any form of war. There is no any form of genocide they're going through in South Africa, but Trump feels like these people are threatened. Remember how Latinos were in support of Trump during the times of election, Latinos for Trump, and look at what they went through when Trump decided that he'll be chasing away immigrants, that he'll be deporting immigrants. During that time, a lot of Latinos, Spanish-speaking people, were taken out of America. We understand Latinos were the most immigrants in America. Most of them were chased away of America. Most of them who were even born in America were chased away. They were deported. Some of whom were even legal citizens with the right paperwork. They were chased away. But right now, Latinos are wondering, why is Trump giving white South Africans an opportunity, to be citizens in America? Remember, these white South Africans are the descendants of the leaders, who were taking advantage, of black South Africans during the day. They have a lot of land. They are only 7%, but they have more than 78% of private farmland in South Africa, while their black counterparts, who are 90%, have a little access, to these lands. 3/4 of the farmlands the private farmlands in South Africa are owned by these white folk. So guys, people are wondering, especially the Latinas, why is Trump accepting them while he chased Latinos who stood with him during the days, of the election? Guys, I want you to watch this series of videos. Once they're done, we will get back and do a critical analysis about the same. Let's watch this together, family.
I don't ever want to hear that Trump isn't racist, because what's happening right now is 1000% about color. He's targeting innocent Latinos and deporting them, tearing families apart, even deporting Americans. He's deported American children with cancer without their medical supplies. On top of that, he's deporting people that are actually in the legal process of becoming Americans. Meanwhile, on Monday, he is welcoming white, keyword white, South Africans into America. He's providing them housing, prepaid phones, weather appropriate clothing, groceries, house furnishings, all while also saying that Latinos are draining the economy. Are you, be so fucking for real. Be so fucking for real, because these are the same Latinos that work multiple jobs. When have you seen a Latino immigrant begging on the street? Oh, wait. Latino immigrants work multiple jobs, don't even qualify for the benefits that he falsely claims that they are abusing. Babe, they can't even get these benefits. They will sell you flowers, wash your car, wash your house, wash the dishes. They do everything. They don't qualify for these benefits. You think if they qualified for these benefits that they would have all these multiple jobs, babe? Oh my God, at this point, I just don't want to hear it. I feel like there's so many people that I know personally that have been gaslighting me, constantly saying, oh, Trump he's not racist, he loves Latinos. Then make it make sense. Make it make sense. And then the ACLU has already reported there has been so many US citizens that have been arrested and detained because they have been racially profiled. Yeah, for the color of their skin and for speaking Spanish. So please, I don't want to fucking hear it. It is about race. It is about color. If you're black and brown in America, you are targeted. And right now they're trying to get rid of habeas corpus, which is going to eliminate your right to resist arrest. So yeah, for all the Latinos that voted for Trump, babe, it's you or me next at the end of the day. Like, this is about color. This is about preserving whiteness. This has always been that. And, you know, I don't think that we are at a point to, like, blame the people, the Latinos that voted for Trump anymore. I think it's just wake up. Like, there's literally nothing that he's doing that's going to benefit you. Nothing. And I don't think that you need to wait for it to, like, personally affect you for you to wake up. I really beg and implore you to do your own research and just wake up. This isn't right. This is so sad.
While this racist ass administration terrorizes Latinos across America, some who have been here all their life, have done the right thing, go to their appointments, to do the right things, and then be arrested at their appointments. And then some who just go to work and live their daily lives day by day, graduate from high school, go to college, not committing criminal acts, working jobs and paying taxes like everybody else. But this administration, they're racist ass thugs, go and kidnap these people, terrorize their kids, make their kids cry, and then we're going to welcome open arms these people right here. If this ain't all out racism, I don't know what is. Sickening, man. Sickening. And I shouldn't hold no ill will toward these people because it's not their fault. And I really wouldn't have no problem with them coming here if the other side was treated the same way. But this is about what it is. Make America white. And treat Latinos who have worked in this country and paid taxes like shit. But you Latinos for Trump, you're all the biggest fucking embarrassments to your old damn selves. Look at your fucking self in the mirror. Ain't nothing white about you, pendejo. Fuck Donald Trump and fuck his racist ass supporters.
So yesterday, we received a plane with 54 white South Africans, refugees. Now, I don't know a lot about what's going on in South Africa, but I do know that these 54 refugees are claiming discrimination in South Africa by their government. They're claiming that the government is stealing their land. Now, if you don't know what happened in South Africa, let me tell you. South Africa had this thing called apartheid. The apartheid only ended 30 years ago. It's not that long ago. The apartheid is pretty much what segregation was here in the United States. It was whites only, blacks only. During this time, the government stole a lot of land from black South Africans and gave it to the white South Africans. Now, there is a black president in South Africa, and he wants to give the stolen land back to the rightful owners, back to the family that he originally belonged to. He's trying to do this the legal way. The white South Africans don't like this. And they're claiming that the government is stealing their land that they stole from black South Africans. And they're saying it's racism. White South Africans still hold a lot of the power in the country. Okay? Yes, they're the minority, but they hold a lot of power and they hold a lot of the wealth. They also get paid a lot more than the black South Africans. So, Elon Musk, a South African that's white, convinced the Trump administration to grant refugee status to these white South Africans that are being discriminated and persecuted because they're white. And it's very ironic that they're giving refugee status to white people who are fleeing violence and persecution, while simultaneously removing the refugee status from people of color who are also fleeing violence and persecution. So it's not about that they don't want immigrants or help refugees. They just don't want to help the brown and black people that need it. But the white ones, it's okay. They need our help. And I'm not saying that the South Africans that are coming here should not be allowed to come. They should. If they want to come and move here, absolutely come. I'm just saying, give the same opportunities to the black and brown people. And if you don't think that the black and brown people should have the same opportunities as the white refugees that are coming, well, you're just racist.
We gotta talk about what is happening in South Africa, more specifically what is happening to white South Africans. Because the first South Africans have now been picked up by a plane so they can be brought to the US. Because Donald Trump believes that white South Africans are being oppressed in South Africa and that they are refugees. White South Africans make up around 7% of the country's population, but they still own 78% of private farmland in South Africa and have about 20 times the wealth of black South Africans. But according to Donald Trump, they're victims, they're refugees, and they have to be brought to the US and be helped. A reporter described seeing a queue full of white citizens with airport trolleys full of luggage waiting to have their passports stamped before they entered the departure lounge. Afrikaners are descendants of Dutch, German, and French colonizers that came to South Africa, and they're also the ones that benefited during the apartheid rule in South Africa that only stopped 30 years ago. They now make up around 60% of South Africa's white population. Both Trump and his apartheid bestie Elon Musk have claimed that white South Africans are the real oppressed people in South Africa. And they're suffering through a government-sponsored race-based discrimination, including racially discriminatory property confiscation. Because Trump believes that, South Africa is going to steal all the farmland from the white South Africans to give it to the bad black South Africans. As many as 1,000 Afrikaners could be admitted to the US this year. By the way, the normal refugee process in the US takes years, but Trump wouldn't want to make, the white South Africans wait. He's literally flying in the descendants of the main colonizers, saying that they're the oppressed group. Since Trump is very old, he was alive during apartheid. How often did you think he spoke up against it? White Afrikaners are amongst the most economically privileged group in South Africa. They're not being systemically oppressed, they're not being persecuted, and no, all of the farmland from the white people is not being taken and given to the black people. Farmland they only have because of colonization and the brutal oppression of black people in South Africa and other non-white minorities in South Africa. This also shows you that Trump is not in fact against immigrants or refugees as long as they have the right skin color, and as long as their mentality and their belief and history is something that he believes in. And to be honest, many people believe, and I have to 100% agree, that Trump is going to try to take these white South Africans, a lot of whom have a farming background, to try and replace a lot of farm workers who are in the US right now and who are of Latin American descent, for example. That is definitely the end goal here.
Hey, get a load of this shit. 59 white South Africans were granted refugee status in the U.S. after their home country instituted a new law seeking to address land ownership disparities by making it easier for the country to expropriate land. Now, reportedly, 3/4 of privately owned land in South Africa is still in the hands of the white minority. Even now, 30 years after apartheid ended. And if you don't know the history of South African apartheid, read a book. Read a book. Google it even. It's not great. You're not in for a good time. So this law that South Africa introduced is supposed to allow South African authorities to take land in public interest without compensation, only in exceptional circumstances. That's what the law states. Like when an area is abandoned. After South Africa said they were going to institute that months ago, Trump posted on Truth Social and said that South Africa is confiscating land and treating certain classes of people very badly. The United States won't stand for it. We will act. Cool. Keep in mind that these certain classes of people he's referring to are white landowners. Elon Musk, who we haven't heard from in quite a while, is South African, if you didn't know. And he has and continues to refer to white people possibly losing land that they took as colonizers as a genocide. So that's fun. A claim that has actually been widely discredited multiple times. If you dig even just a little bit deeper, you will see why this, oh no, poor white colonists get expedited refugee status PR stunt is happening. Even as the Trump administration's anti-migrant status has suspended refugee programs and halted arrivals from places like Iraq, Afghanistan, and pretty much all sub-Saharan African countries. It's simple. South Africa is critical of Trump. And he won't stand for that. You can't have that. He kicked out South Africa's ambassador for criticizing him. He paused USAID funding to South Africa in January. He dismantled USAID and programs funding HIV research and treatment in South Africa. This shit, in fact, is so ludicrous that the Episcopal Church, the one that has got the closest ties and the longest ties with the United States government, has been like, nah, we're not going to be involved in this. No thanks. Meanwhile, people fleeing actual widespread violence and persecution, they're facing a closed door when they try to get refugee status. So, sorry everybody. Looks like money still talks. And on that note, it's day 113 in the series in which I asked myself, do I have to go to work today? The answer is yes. I don't care. Here we go. Do I have to go to work today? No. No pithy ending. Too sad. See you tomorrow.
Did you see this video where this couple, originated from Argentina, who voted for Trump, are upset that their son, who's a green card holder, is currently being detained by ICE?
Un incidente que terminó siendo un misdemeanor. Cumplió con todos los requisitos, al pie de la letra, entonces se terminó el caso, se cerró, se dismissed. Lo detuvieron en el aeropuerto de Ley, lo mandaron a un county jail en North Carolina por 3 días y luego lo movieron aquí a donde estamos ahora.
Él dijo que iba a ir por todos los delincuentes que entraron ilegal.
Y lo dijo muy claro.
Lo dijo bien claro.
Pero pasamos de tener una puerta abierta completamente a cerrarla con 10 cerrojos.
Es un engaño masivo lo que hizo. Es un mentiroso. Está mucha gente enojada. No solo inmigrantes. Gente que vive aquí, que tiene generaciones y generaciones de estar en este país.
And the family said that it's very possible that it could end with Augustine being deported.
So here's a little more background on their son, Augustine. He was convicted in 2020 of infliction of injury and he was sentenced to 3 years probation. Now, that case was closed in 2023. Well, in February, Augustine was coming back from a trip abroad through Los Angeles International Airport where he was stopped by DHS. There, they confiscated his green card and Argentine passport and told him to report to Border Patrol in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is where he lives. He did report to the office, apparently on his own. There's no word of whether or not there was a lawyer with him. He was detained, and within 2 days, he was transferred to Stewart. This is a Stewart detention center, which can roughly hold about 1,700 people. And according to Augustine, when he talked to his parents, it is overcrowded in there. People are sleeping on the floor, and they're not getting the basic necessities. Now, what is happening to their son and to everyone under this administration is terrible. But this is frustrating because Latinos for Trump really thought they were going to be safe from his mass deportations. Now that Trump has come after your family, now you realize that he was a liar. Trump has always been a liar. We knew he was going to go after immigrants, specifically Latinos, regardless if they're criminals or not. I do wish more Latinos will wake up to the fact that Trump is a liar, but unfortunately, it seems like with these Trump supporters, they do not believe anything until it personally affects them. So if this happens to come across your FYP page and you happen to be a Trump supporter, just know that something like this is in your future. You are not safe from him. He does not care about anybody but himself.
It's not about race, it's not about race. Then why has the Trump administration chartered a plane specifically to go and resettle white South Africans in the United States as refugees, despite the fact the Trump administration earlier this year suspended refugee admissions and yet are making an exception for white South Afrikaners? But it's not about race, right? It's not about race. Why are we making everything about race? It was never about race. So why are no exceptions being made for the black and brown refugees and only for the white refugees? And I say refugees very loosely because these people are not trying to escape white racism. They are escaping the repercussions as a result of years of racial oppression at their hands. Retaliation from oppression cannot be called racism. They're simply running from the repercussions of their own actions, the consequences of their actions, if you will. But if it's not about race, why are only the white South Africans being allowed to come to the United States under refugee status, despite refugee admissions being suspended by Trump himself? If it's not about race. I'll wait.
Have y'all noticed how quiet the Latinos are on social media regarding these white Afrikaners getting refugee status? I see a lot of black folk defending Latino people on social media. In spite of what has been going on, I've been seeing a lot of black people on Latino people's side regarding what's going on with these white Afrikaners getting refugee status for something that isn't happening in their country. But I'm just wondering, why are y'all so quiet about this? Why are we louder than y'all? We shouldn't be louder than y'all. This is the problem. We should not be louder than y'all. But here we are louder than y'all. Wake up.
Family, there's been a lot of chaos in America since Trump took office for his second term as the president of the United States of America. Immediately he was appointed as the president, he started deporting people who did not have the right paperwork, people who were citizens, immigrants. He ensured they were out of America, including black folks and the Spanish-speaking groups. You understand, the Latinos were making one of the biggest groups, of immigrants in America. People who actually voted for him, people who stood with him, Latinos for Trump. He ensured that these groups of people were deported outside of America. Some of these families were crying and insisting that this is where they are born, this is where they knew as home. Some of these people say that their parents are even arrested. They've been in the custody of the government for many months right now. And the same people are wondering, how is it that it's possible for the white South Africans who are actually not getting any threats in their country, getting an opportunity to be refugees in a country where others are being deported? Was Trump trying to clear way, for this new group of people to come and become citizens, of America? You wonder how these people who are actually not going through any problems, they are not going through any problems. They're actually descendants of the apartheid leaders. These people are rich. 3/4 of the lands, in South Africa belong to them. These same people are coming to America and getting privileges like housing, getting mobile phones. They are getting citizenship, something that has always been very, very difficult for an immigrant to get, in America. They are getting it legally. Their papers are being signed. They're being jetted in, with the United States planes. They're getting all these privileges. And the government of South Africa has said that it has always been a lie, that these people are being threatened, in South Africa. The government of the day says the only thing they want to change is ensure that there is equal distribution of these resources. You understand, these white settlers were actually getting these privileges of the land from their forefathers. who are the leaders of the apartheid system that was ruling, South Africa. More than 30 years later, they're still enjoying these privileges. They're actually the only white folks who are still in Africa as citizens in a country, after the apartheid era ended. Many of us look at Kenya and any other country, in Africa. Most of these rulers already left, but for South Africa it's different. These people have been in South Africa all these years. Some of them have been born there. They're actually citizens of this country. What the government of Ramaphosa is trying to do right now is just ensure that South Africa is great for everyone, black and white. Even if you had even if your fathers, were the leaders of the apartheid, they do not care right now. They just want to ensure that people are the same. Right now, once Donald Trump has accepted to take them in, and we've started seeing South Africans getting jetted inside America, just brings a lot of questions in the minds of the Latinos, because this group of people were actually affected so much. During the time that Donald Trump took in office, when he started deporting immigrants, people who are loyal to him, people who ensure that he was voted in as the president of the United States of America. Chaos online. People are complaining, people are asking questions, people are saying that this has been the baddest rulings that they've seen over the years. Black folks are also wondering, how is it that for them, even the uniformed people who've been fighting for America over the years, who ensure that America is where it is right now, are also being deported? Well, these white South Africans are getting this great privilege. People are wondering, how is this even happening? Just because Donald Trump thinks that these people are on a threat? Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. What do you think of this ruling by Donald Trump? How will it in exchange affect people who are already in America? Why is it easier for these white South Africans and it is always difficult for other immigrants, in America, because there is constant deportations for them? The ESA is ensuring that these people are outside of America. Well, this group of people are getting an opportunity to live as Americans. Trump went ahead and even said that they are easier to assimilate. And people are asking, is it because they are white folks? They're easier to assimilate. And we know very well that these people actually originate from European countries. That's where they dated before they went to start the apartheid ruling, in South Africa. Guys, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about what is happening right now in America. The Latinos are not happy, and they've been regretting ever since they stood with Trump and voted in, thinking that their interests will actually be met in the government of Donald Trump. Guys, like this video so that it can be recommended to other YouTube users, and I'll be very grateful. Comment down below. Let me know of your views about the same story. Last but not least, kindly do consider subscribing to the channel. We are currently on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and guys, you cannot do it without your support. Share this video widely with your friends and relatives. See you all in our next episode. Goodbye for now.